I'm just ready to be done bending this thing so that we can start welding it, because that's the part that I'm looking forward to. What's up, everybody? This is Brad from PSR Performance. Today we're going to be making a fuel cell out of aluminum. We're going to start with laying it out, cutting it, we're going to bend it, and we're going to weld it together with the TIG 200 digital. Let's dive in. So I have our main panel laid out here. This is the piece that's going to be the top of our fuel cell. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay out our bend lines. So the fuel cell has two basic panels. We have the upper panel, which you're looking at here, and then we have the lower panel. So each panel is 3 sides, and we got 2 panels. We're going to slip the 2 panels together, and we're going to create a box. By making it 2 bent pieces instead of multiple panels, it's much easier for assembly. It also has less area to leak after it's welded, and the last thing you want to deal with is a fuel leak. When you lay out your bend lines, you're going to want to lay them in a hashed line instead of a solid line so that you don't confuse a cut line with a bend line. Each edge will have a 1-inch offset. We're going to cut this piece out and bend along this line to create our tabs. These are our cut reliefs I'm drawing here. Basically, by making these, it won't fold up on top of itself when we bend up the material. So we're going to cut this material out of here. You may be noticing there's a little bit of a gap here, and it's not like directly on edge of where it needs to be. To have a little bit of a gap is better than have no gap at all, because the last thing you want to do is have it come up, and when you bend it together, they butt, and then it jams the bend up. So you don't want to have that happen. Having a little bit of a gap is easy to fill with a TIG welder. All right, so I got our panel all done here, panel 1. As you can see, we have our relief cuts all in here, and we have our dimensions up for the cell size that I was looking for. You may be noticing this weird edge on the end here. This is for our fuel sump, and you'll see that later in the video. Let's go over to the bender. So as you can see, we're set up here to do our side bend of the top panel. And what I want to show here is the placement of our leafs, that you keep enough area here that when we had our side bends on the bottom done, that they don't hit when we come up and bend our 90. So you want to make sure the leafs aren't exactly all the way to the very edge. You can see it on both sides of our setup that we currently have here. So we're going to bend our side and go from there. And we're bending. Oh God. With both hands. Look at that. Would you just look at it, Joe? One side down, one to go. Ooh, yeah, that's 18 on the money. It's always worthwhile to check your dimensions before you bend. As you can see, we did our 2 bends and half of this fuel cell is complete. Before we bend the other side, we wanted to double check that everything fits. It's always a good measure to make sure that your measurements are right before you start bending a bunch of stuff up. So now we're going to go back over the bender and bend this side up after we lay it out. Here's panel 2 ready to be bent. Remember, always work smarter, not harder. So if you need to, put a little bit of extra leverage on the bottom of the brake here. Yeah, and look like an idiot. And bend it. Would you just look at it, Joe? All right, so here we have panel 2 fit on top of panel 1. The cell is upside down right now. You can see our sump hanging out here. We're gonna actually end up taking the sump down, and then we're gonna make our piece that creates our sump. We'll cut that hole out when we do that, and we're also gonna make our hole on the bottom, or well, it's our actual top side. We're gonna make our hole on the top side for the fuel fill. That way we can get into areas like right here where you can see it's kissed in a little bit, where this side's flush. So we're gonna cut those holes, and then we'll start welding and fitting it. Close, but no cigar. All right, so we're gonna add a component into this. We're gonna use the digital angle finder to tell us what we're actually bending at. So right now we bent to, what are we looking at, about 27 degrees. We're gonna go to 30 and then see if that's any better. I went a little far, but we'll see how that is. Keep in mind, you always have spring back, so you're gonna bend a little bit over and then come back. Let's see how we fit. And that's pretty darn close. So now we know for this side, since we're basically making a mirror bend, that we should be able to bend it to about 40 degrees and have the same fitment. So we're zeroed, I'm gonna bring it up. If you're paying attention the first time, I went to about 45 degrees, and then it sprung back, come back in. We're at 35 there, give it a little bit more. Basically, we'll just push it down to fit when we go to put it on. I'll tack along up through, tack it in the center. And what I'll do is I'll just come along through and just trim this top edge up. It's always better to have a little bit extra, that way you can work with it. I'm gonna trace my edging here so that we know where we're gonna sit and cut the hole out for the sump. Last thing you'd wanna do is put the sump on and not have the hole dug out for it. As you can see, I'm kind of laying out an edge here to cut this out, basically giving myself roughly a 1-inch edge around for me to weld onto. Last thing I really want to deal with is trying to weld that sump on there, and I'm like too far in on a cut or whatever, and it's blowing out the weld as I'm coming around through. So this gives us plenty of weld area. We don't really have to worry about anything. A lot of guys, when they put sumps on the bottom of stock tanks, they'll just drill them out with hole saws and put the sump on. It's stuck. Fits that well. God, it went together so easy the first time. So with TIG welding, you always want to make sure that your surfaces are really clean. Now, you could tell this aluminum was pretty clean when we started, but you want to make sure that it's even cleaner now than when we started, because we did put it in a bender. We keep things oiled up in there so the edges don't rust on the bender. So you want to make sure this edge that we're going to be welding is nice and clean. So usually just take a piece of Scotch-Brite and come along here, and then I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and just wipe it off with some acetone on it. Not real wet, but just damp enough to wipe it off and clean it. You don't want it to be too wet because you don't want it to light up when you start welding it. But just clean up your edges, make sure it all is nice and clean before you start, because if you're not, it's going to make a mess. All right, guys, so we have the fuel cell all cleaned up and ready to weld. We're going to fire up the TIG, and we're going to start tacking it together. Basically, you want to start in the corners, tack everything up, and get it fit to where you want it to be. The last part we're going to put on is going to be the sump, and the reason why is we need to be able to get in here and take a corner like this and be able to push it out or push it in and fit it to where we need to be. Basically, we're going to tack right here in the corner, and then we'll run our beads down as we have everything tacked and ready to go. So I'm going to fire up the TIG, and let's get to it. All right, guys, so we finished up the fuel cell. Pretty basic layout. It comes down to just having the right tools for the job and knowing what you need to do to get it accomplished. Hopefully you learned something here. Basically, where we gotta go from here is you're gonna have to figure out where you wanna put your fuel inlet, where you're gonna put your returns out to the pump, and where the pump's gonna return back into the tank. It's gonna be per your project, and that's kind of up to you guys to decide how you're gonna do it. If you're looking for any more information on any of the products we use today, check out eastwood.com.